I'm Dan Gershenson with Caliber Brand Strategy and Content Marketing. I help small business owners who don't have a marketing department per se have a true marketing department, but one that is collaborating with them virtually and in person, but giving them the content, the strategy, and the system they need to elevate their business. And I'm based in Chicago. Usually what I deal with a lot is professional services rather than a retail or a restaurant. So there's always a complex sale to make there when it's a professional service firm. And so the biggest deal there is that they don't think about the entire buyer's journey. What I mean by the buyer's journey is they think about putting a service out there and hoping that people will buy it. When many times people need to know more about you, they need to like you, they need to trust you, and they even need to try you if there's a try offering to what you sell. And have you really thought about all of those silos and what your tactics might be, and specifically, how your particular service is different than other services? And so at the most basic level, services firms, generally speaking, don't know how to make themselves sound different. They will say that we've been around a long time, or we have a lot of people, we have a lot of offices, we have a full suite of services. Everybody says that, and everybody has that, and that's not unique. And so they need to really speak in plain English to a specific audience or audiences that really solves a problem and makes them sound like the thought leaders they propose to be. One of them off the top of my head is an estate planning attorney. So those are people who deal with wills and trusts and powers of attorney and things like that when a lot of times people pass away and there's a lot of uncertainty. But what we realized was that everybody and their cousin was talking about these one-time things that pop up, like I need to make a will, I need to create a trust, I need to do this one thing, and then that would be the extent of the relationship. Well, I sat down with my client and said, really nothing in life is that planned that we know what's going to happen, and needs change and people change and the unpredictable happens. And even when you plan for retirement, or how long you think you're going to have as far as a retirement, nothing is a given. So why not have something more that feels like estate planning for life? Something that helps you create documents right now in your 20s and 30s, and then lasts you through your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, rather than I need this document. And so in a sea of firms that say, we can help you create a will, we can help you create a trust, we can do this one-time thing, we're trying to extend that to be a 30 to 40 year relationship. And so it bodes a lot better for differentiating yourself out there in the crowd versus, every other law firm that just kind of looks at them as transactional, but not a relationship. And so that is something that we've been able to put out there with this particular firm and create a differentiation. Another one that's totally different is a medical device client of mine that started with him 4 or 5 years ago. And the way they were selling was very much by catalog. To go into a business and say, well, if you need a defibrillator, or you need CPR training, or you need first aid products, here's all of our products, which ones do you want? And so that was okay, but the reality is that people want to sort of be consulted and then get on with their lives. They don't want a headache of trying to choose all these various products. And so what we repositioned ourselves as is safety consultants that can come into your firm, do an analysis of, the folks that you have, the floors of your business, and kind of give you a recommendation, and then be sort of your ongoing strategic partner to get you the supplies you need replenished, the training you need for new employees, and then you can get on with your life, because your life shouldn't be, your workday shouldn't be spent going through catalogs. And so we tried to really change that from a catalog approach, a very product-centered approach, to more of a customized sale-by-sale kind of thing. So that, yes, there's still products and there's still training, but now it's a little more of a packaged solution per client that's very customized. And then that way they hopefully get more sales per client. And from a brand perspective, they're totally different than everybody else who just sells product by product by product. And I think that's made a big difference. The thing that always gets sort of lost in the shuffle here is that people forget about what's called the lifetime value of that customer. So, in other words, it's really not just about one transaction. It doesn't have to be. It can be very much about, well, if you really thought through your entire process in terms of, well, are they really done when you make a sale? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's, what are you cross-selling them or upselling them, or, how can you then get them to refer to other people like them? And so where a lot of businesses, I think, unfortunately see the buy as the finish line, when it can be really the start of a new ongoing relationship that can just have a host of benefits. I like to do some networking, but at a high level group. I have a few groups that I'm a member of, and I like to do networking that way. And when I get the referrals, I'm very blessed to have clients who not only refer, but they know how to refer. They know who is a good fit and who is less of a good fit. And they know how to tout some of my better qualities as a marketing consultant. So that's really important. You want to be able to not only get referrals, but to train your own clients to say, here's what you should talk about when you're talking about me out there in the world. And if you can do that, and you have people who regularly do that for you, it makes your life a lot easier. The cousin idea of that is to have strategic partners. So I don't do graphic design personally. I personally do not do web programming. So there are other things that people do that I do not, and vice versa. They are good referral sources. So I try to sit down with them on a regular basis and, look for leads for them, and hopefully they look for leads for me. I think one of the things I'm going to do much more this year is do a little more harvesting of trigger events on LinkedIn. Usually when it's LinkedIn, especially, you should be able to see this, I know, in the premium edition of LinkedIn, but you might be able to see this in other, perhaps the free as well. You will be able to see if people have, number one, changed jobs in the last 90 days, or perhaps changed a role. You'll be able to follow companies and see what they are going through as far as, what companies are going through a merger, an acquisition, a transition of sorts, perhaps a new product launch or spin-off. Let's say that you've accumulated a list of 100 decision makers that are relevant to your geography and your industry. Well, if you've saved them, which you can, it will eventually tell you if any of them have changed roles or jobs. And if they're new to a role or a job, perhaps they have a new set of goals that they want to accomplish in short order, which may relate to your product, your solution that you're selling. And so that doesn't mean you go right in there and start selling them like crazy, but it does mean to say, how can I slowly work myself into where this person is in their new role or new job? And is there a place where I can at least start the conversation in a subtle way over coffee or lunch or breakfast? And then get some information about them, and then they can learn some information about me.